What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy Sealz the man, and thank you for coming back on another nighttime edition episode. And we are now in February, and you know what February means to me? February is a month of love, admiration, appreciation. Whether we're talking about the love of black people, our impact on the culture and history and the world as it stands today. Whether you celebrate Valentine's Day, where you are celebrating another loved one or other loved ones. There is just a big flow of love in the month of February from all different angles. And as y'all know, on this channel, I talk about understanding the mind of men, decent men, good men, how upstanding men think. I'm going to combine love and what drives how us men think together into tonight's video. And what I'm going to talk about is the small communication tricks that decent men love to hear. For those who've been following me over the years, you know I love talking about communication, whether it involves words coming out of someone's mouth, whether it is body language, whether it is the almighty action that always speaks louder than words. Communication is always fun to talk about because it is one of the most important things to master, to understand, to comprehend. But for me specifically, I love talking about how we think, how we look at communication as a man. But before I start, make sure you follow me, hit that subscribe button below so that you may hear more content like this as I break down understanding the mind of good men, decent men. You won't want to miss out. And that will lead me to the first small communication trick that decent men love to hear. And that is being a giver and not a killer. Clearly, I have to explain that because that sounds kind of psychotic, but you know I will explain it. So what I mean by being a giver instead of a killer when it comes to communication, it means, you know, I'll give an example. Say, for instance, your guy comes to you and he's talking about an issue. He brings up something that he's been struggling with or something that he is having an issue with. And he comes to you and he tells you and he talks about this thing to you. What a giver does in this moment is give suggestions on how he can fix this issue, possible solutions on how this can be resolved. A killer, on the other hand, says something that puts an immediate end to it. It gives his issue no hope coming from you. You're not helping him in this moment because of what you said just deads it. Now I'm going to give you an example in this example. A giver will say something like, wow, you really going through that? You know, how about we try this? Or, you know, as you was telling me this, I was thinking about something that I feel like I can help or bring some kind of value to. I'm gonna work on this, but don't worry, I got you. We got this. We're gonna work this out by doing this, etc., etc. Something the killer would say is, oh, word? You'll figure it out. Dang, everything will be all right. You see the difference between the two sets of communication or responses, I should say? The giver's response was making his issue open-ended. There was no closure on it. In fact, she extended it because now she wants to help find a solution to this issue that he brought up. The killer's response deaded it. It put a period on his issue. There was no advancement to what he was discussing with you. The reason why decent men love to hear the giver response in most cases is because him coming to you and telling you about his issue is validated by your response. Because you're trying to give solution to his issue, that gives him more confidence to come to you again if he ever had any other issues. That also shows that you could be a functional and dependable partner when he has problems. All those things makes him more confident in you, and it makes him feel better about talking about the things he goes through with you. Those are all pluses. But you do not want to be a killer in a conversation because now he will feel like it's a waste of time to bring up anything to you because he knows what your response is going to be. He knows the minimal amount of effort you're going to put to his conversations when he brings up things that is troubling him. Nobody wants that. You don't even want that for yourself. So that small little alteration in showing effort when your guy is giving issue to you or talking about an issue to you is a game changer. The next small little communication trick that decent men love to hear is whispering. Whispering. This is more in relation to a man and his woman, his partner. Whispering is a little small communication method that men love to hear because it is a verbal form of intimacy, because it involves closeness. People are not going to be comfortable with people whispering to them unless they are involved with that person, love that person. There has to be some kind of intimacy attached to the whispering, because once you are getting whispered by a creep, I can only imagine the reaction, but it is justified because whispering is a form of intimacy. You cannot get intimacy from everybody. The reason why good dudes love whispering from their woman is because of intimacy, the closeness that it represents, but also it shows the respect that each one has for each other. Because not everything needs to be talked about out loud, especially if you're in front of a group of people or in a public place or in front of company. If something needs to be told in a whisper tone, it shows that she respects him. Say for instance, his breath is rocking, smelling like a bag of rotten eggs. Instead of her saying, babe, your breath smells like the bottom of a pig's foot. You might want to check on that. Instead of doing that, whispering it is the more respectable approach. Instead of her saying, babe, you got greens on your teeth. Yeah, greens on your teeth. Yep. Instead of yelling something like that, she's going to whisper that to you because she respects you. She doesn't want to embarrass you. And the last thing I'm gonna bring up about whispering is that whispering can be super sexy. Super sexy. Whispering changes the whole tone of anything that can be said. For example, he has on a tuxedo tonight. Y'all at a party or a ball, and she thinks he looks super handsome. There is a major difference between her telling him, wow, you look so handsome tonight, and her whispering, you look so handsome tonight. Total difference. I'm trying to tell you from a man's point of view, perspective. That whisper coming in my ear and my brain registering what she just said is a totally different impact from her just telling me on a regular. Whispering is powerful from the right one. Gotta be the right one. The next one, small communication trick that decent men love to hear, is what I call highway versus one-way street. Now, as I talk about this point, I want y'all to think about how a highway feels, how a highway looks, what goes on a highway versus a one-way street. How a one-way street works. Now, what's the difference between the two? A highway is always flowing, non-stop, cars going both ways. It is an unlimited, ongoing network of vehicles, people, just movement all over the place, different speeds, different lanes. It's always moving. Versus a one-way street where it's just one car going one direction. Now, I want you to think about those things and put it into the context of communication. Now I'm going to give you some simple words that represents both a highway and a one-way in the context of communication. Why? That represents highway. Versus, oh, okay, that represents one-way street. Can you explain? Can you elaborate? That represents a highway. Good for you. That represents a one-way street. Now, if you're a little confused by this, those words that I just said, those terms, are the responses to someone telling us something. So now let me add another person into this dialogue and use those same words that I just said that represent highway and one-way street. Woo, finally home. I am tired. Why? Woo, I'm finally home. I am tired. Oh, okay. You see the vibes that both of those responses gave based on the responses of a highway and a one-way street? Let me give you another example that your man or a man may say to you. Listen, I got a genius idea. I just came up with something the other night and I want to bring it to you. I think I want to start a new business. It's been on my mind for a while now and I feel like I need to act on it because it's been on my heart for so long. Wow. Can you explain? Elaborate. Tell me more. Versus, listen, I got a genius idea. It's been on my heart for a while now, my mind for some days now, and I think it's time that I start a business. Oh, good for you. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, even me just saying those things gave me different feelings based on the two different responses. When your man or a man comes to you with good intentions, he's excited about something, he loves to hear a highway response because it shows that you care. It shows that you are invested in whatever he's talking about. It shows that you want to communicate, that you want to talk about this thing. It shows that you are present. It shows all the good things that he needs from you. And that is exactly the opposite of what one-way street responses give, one-way street communicators give, and you don't want those issues. Let's move on to the next small communication trick that decent men, good men love to hear, and that is anything involving his physical, but in a good way, a beneficial way, a pumped up way, a cheerleader way, a big up way. You don't want to be negative with the physical. Only positive here. Okay, I see you, muscles. Oh, you getting gains. I see you. Wow, your gym progress has been amazing. I'm proud of you. Jeez, you getting strong. I see you. Anything involving the physical is going to put juice in his battery, charging him up. We love that, especially from my woman, because we spend the most time with you. So if you notice, that means it's actually working. When you tell us that we're getting stronger, we believe we're getting stronger. If you tell us that our muscles are getting bigger, we believe that because it's coming from you. Decent men, good men are all about progress, success, achievements, winning, overcoming. That is what we're about. So once you reinforce that with what you see and you tell us that, we believe it. And now it's going to influence us and build our confidence to do even better in whatever it is. But just make sure you're being honest with it though. Don't be out here lying just to make him feel good. If you see actual, authentic progress in whatever it is, his muscle, his physical, him taking care of his skin, whatever it is, say it. Awesome communication trick. Let's go to the next one. And that is winning optimism. And in winning optimism, the person that he is talking to is eliminating the possibility of giving in. Eliminating the possibility of losing. Eliminating the possibility of failing through the things she says to him, responds to him. She speaks towards victory. Her attitude follows that. She gives best ways and avenues to victory, to success. This is the ultimate support. In this small communication trick, in winning optimism, she is being the ultimate team member, team partner, because as I said, she's eliminating the possibility of failure. So for an example, because life is hard and not easy, your man comes to you and tells you about his day. Because life is hard and not easy. And she says, you are going to overcome this day. You are going to overcome that issue that you went through today. Pick your head up. Pick your chin up. You got this. I have confidence in you. Never forget where your blessings come from. That is an infinite source. I am here to remind you. See, that winning optimism, it could turn him around immediately. And I know this personally, because let me tell you something. It is so easy to be pessimistic. It is so easy to follow the tone that someone is giving you. If someone is having a bad day, it's so easy to fall into that same mood that they're giving you because you're just falling in line. But when you are a resistance to someone's bad mood, when you are a resistance to someone's down day, when you are a resistance to someone's dark tone in the way they are talking, you can become the light in their dark room. And I'm not saying you need to dismiss their dark mood or their down mood in that moment. What I'm saying is to be of a victory mindset, to remind them that they are capable of being successful and that they are capable of overcoming this thing that they're going through. To be that winning optimism can not only change someone's day, but it can impact a person's life forever. Winning optimism coming from a man's woman is a winning strategy, a winning partner, a winning woman, and that represents real love because that woman wants him to be great. That woman wants him to win. That woman is the ultimate reminder to what is possible. And a lot of men bear a lot of weight, a lot of untold secrets, a lot of concealed heartbreaks. We carry that a lot of days, and we don't want to put that pressure onto you, so we hold it in. But man, if your man ever comes to you, be that winning optimism. That is a huge but small communication trick that men love to hear, especially from those most important to him. And the last communication trick, small communication trick that can work wonders to a decent man, is what I call a firefighter. As we know, firefighters fight fires, right? So what does a man's woman look like as a firefighter in communication? Well, let me tell you. It is when a woman does not feed his current anger. She does not feed his current frustration. She does not entertain or feed into the issues that he's having and bring it up to you. Instead, she fights his fire by giving rational advice, different perspective. When she is being his firefighter, she is almost like a cool and calm breeze on a hot, fiery day. There is nothing like that cool and calm breeze on a smoldering day. And I'm a Leo, so I'm a baby of the summer. And I gotta tell you, I miss the summer so much. I forgot what it feels like to have a hot day. But enough about me, back to the subject. She is a firefighter because she does not feed his current flames. She douses them with peace, intelligence, emotional intelligence. strategy, foresight. Because let me tell you something. If me, as your man, I come to you and I tell you an issue and I'm hot, I'm ready to knock someone out, I'm this close to going to jail, and I come to you and tell you about this and you hype me up too, like, yeah, you need to go see him right now and finish this. You need to give him the 3-piece chicken dinner. Guess what I'm most likely gonna do? I'm gonna do it because you hyping me up. You are feeding my fire. And this happens so many times in today's world, today's relationships, because the partner does not have foresight. They are not being mature. They are not thinking, what if he does do this thing? He acts on his anger right now, and I'm not making it no better. What will happen if he does this? He might go to jail, or worse, he might get killed. Feeding fire, especially when your partner is angry, not thinking straight, seeing red, does not help him, and it won't help you. When she is a firefighter to his fires, that is a communication trick that decent men love to hear from their woman, especially because let me tell you something, y'all don't know how many times y'all save our lives from this exact communication method, this communication trick, being a firefighter. Y'all just don't understand. It's the simple words y'all say sometimes, the sweet reminders y'all say sometimes, that makes the total difference, the biggest difference. Because a lot of men are very hot-headed, stubborn, ready to pop off because their ego and their pride is involved. And that is the reason why a lot of men is always in some violent yet avoidable issues most times, because we let that ego and that pride drive our decision making. But man, when a man has a firefighter in his woman, that is not only what we love to hear, but what most of us need. And we love firefighters because sometimes we look back on the moments that y'all talk us down. Y'all make us look at things from a different perspective. Y'all chill us out. And that makes us decent men. That's why this is specific for decent men. That is why that makes decent men grateful for those firefighting moments that you didn't feed into our flames. So shout out to all y'all firefighters out there. In this video, I talked about 6 small yet huge communication tricks that decent men, good men, upstanding men, men about something love to hear from their woman. And in general, I could say, utilize these things if you aren't already doing so, because we love to hear them. Thank you for being here tonight with me, Sealz the man, and I will see y'all on my next video. Keep spreading that love out there. Peace and blessings. Good night.